What is going on a Friday night, you filthy animals? That's right, hit that like button. We haven't even done anything yet. So, as you can see, I'm in the middle of a little rearranging process at the moment, and we'll get there. We'll get there. It is a process. I promise you that. You guys have no idea. I figured I'd put on the crackling fire behind me. See if you can. Let me turn it up a little bit. Nice and roasty in here. It's quite warm. It's fire. I'm so close to it. It's a 4K fire. Anyway, so yes, welcome to another Friday night. Um, no, I don't have the heater going, actually, by the way, 3 star. It is warm enough though. It is well, let's check the temperature actually right now. Let me look on my phone. We're going to check the temperature in Nashville, Tennessee. It is currently 35 degrees and falling. Um, Probably going to get to about 31 tonight. Not the coldest that it's been, but it's chilly enough. Hopefully everything sounds okay right now. Like I said, I have had to move my rig completely across the other side of the room, trying to get the camera set up. This is not the way it's going to be in the future, but it's the best I could do for tonight. So usually my camera's on the other side. I've kind of got it on this side. It's a little strange, but we'll work with it. We'll do what we can. Let's go ahead and say hi to a few folks as they roll in. We'll say hi to a few more. Menjoza, what's going on? Good to see you, Eric Thurman. What is happening? Obviously, 3 star draw. Frosty, Frostbite G.I. Joe Repro is here. Joe Fan 84. Bobby Wold stopping in. I used to put the Vader Yuletime log on the screen. Pretty soon it will just be the Star Wars logo on fire on the screen. Yeah, I think that's already happened, actually. I will tell you, though, full disclosure, I have not gotten a chance to watch the newest episode of Skeleton Crew. And as few people that are watching that show, which I fully understand, at the same time, I like it. I like the show. I think it's good. It's fun. For those of you that are hesitant, and I can understand why, I do think that it is a fun show. I know I could probably say that about some of the other ones that have been out that let me turn that down just a little. There we go. That feels much better on the eyeballs. Um, but I know that we've all been burned by Star Wars at this point, by Disney Star Wars. There's been just too many bad shows, too much, terrible writing, character destroying movies, character destroying TV shows. And yeah, Joe Fan, I don't blame you one bit. As a matter, and I'll also tell you guys, I don't pirate anything. Um, Maybe I probably should. I know a lot of people do. I don't pirate anything, and it's for no other reason other than I'm just scared to death of getting something on my computer. And this computer is as clean as a whistle, and I hold my right hand up. It's clean as a whistle, if you know what I'm talking about. And so nonetheless, it's like I'm scared to death to get a virus or something that's just going to destroy my freaking computer when I've spent money trying to upgrade it and all that stuff. And it's not even, it's probably a mid-grade computer. But nonetheless, so I buy all the streaming services. I do. So I pay for Disney Plus and I pay for Paramount and I pay for there's only um there's two that I don't pay for. One I've never even watched, and that's Apple TV, which I have a couple at work who gave me their password. And then there's Max, same couple, gave me their password, and if it wasn't for them, I wouldn't be able to watch anything on either of those. But Apple TV, I have yet to even dive into. Uh, but uh, but Max, I've watched quite a bit, especially for the Penguin. Which, if you still haven't seen it, go watch it. If you're off over the next few days, if you got 2 weeks off from work, whatever it is, watch the Penguin. It is freaking fantastic. I'm telling you, it's fantastic. And Joe fan, I'm a single dad, gets expensive. I only have Paramount. Yeah, and that's the thing, right? Like, Frostbite said, streaming is kind of pretty cheap these days. In a sense, and in a sense, it is all, what we've always asked for. But here's the deal, right? You had options. You could pay a premium price and have no ads. You could pay a little less or a lot less and you would have ads, right? Well, now you're paying the premium price. No longer do you get options. You're paying one price basically, and you're still getting ads now, right? And on top of that, the ads are terrible because they just cut in out of the middle of nowhere. And so there's no flow to the show, right? There's no ad breaks. And I know you guys have heard me talk about that. Writing television, it's based around your advertisements, and you have kind of your theme song, and then your initial, introduction to introduce your plot lines, and then you'll kind of get a commercial break, and then the middle section is where you extend those plot lines and expand on them. Then you get another commercial break, and then you have your resolution, and then that's the bottom of the hour. Hour-long TV shows are built a little differently. But that's just kind of how it was done, and it worked for decades. And now with streaming, as great as it is, they haven't nailed down the format. And as cheap as it may be, depending on which ones you want to have, as you add them all up, and we could literally do it. I could literally sit here and do it and add them all up, how much they cost. And it's not as cheap as you think, Frosty. That's the thing. But nonetheless, the way that I got on that topic was just that I don't pirate anything because I'm scared of getting my computer messed up. And it is kind of my lifeblood right now, not only with this, but with some other things. And even when my son comes over, speaking of which, he's here this weekend. They're out of school. He passed all his classes. So, good job, son, on the first semester of his junior year. He's playing the VR behind me. You can't see him. Hopefully he won't step or fall into the fire while he's playing the VR. I would hate to have to rush him to the ER or call the fire department and have a Gremlins type situation. But anyway, so if you join me and Matthew on Tuesday, we went over like our top 5 Christmas specials, like TV specials kind of thing, and then our top 10 Christmas movies. And that was a lot of fun. My number 1 was A Christmas Story. Number 2 was Gremlins. Number 3 was Die Hard. And if you don't agree with those, well, then I don't know what to tell you. You don't know anything about Christmas movies. No, I jest, of course. But that was a lot of fun, man. It took a lot longer than I thought it would. But we had, a lot of participation, and I appreciated that. It was a lot of fun, and seeing a lot of y'all in the chat. So tonight, we'll keep it a little light. I'm not going to go in hard on anything. It's almost Christmas time, We do have some Motu news for those of you that are Motu fans. There's some casting news out there. Wanted to bring up a interesting story just about Jesse Eisenberg and his role as Lex Luthor in the Snyderverse and kind of what that's done for him. I've got a list of the top 50. Now, we're not going to go through all 50, but the top 50 greatest TV shows of all time. And I kind of want to get an idea where you guys fell on that and where you kind of, what your thoughts are on this list. So I'm curious to kind of see it and see maybe what their top 20 are, right? There's a lot of TV shows. So, and sometimes these magazines and these websites and fanzines and stuff, they'll put out a greatest guitarist list, right? Top 100 guitarists, and Prince isn't even on the list, right? Or some other guitarist that is amazing is like number 25, and they've got Courtney Love at number 4, shit like that. So I'm curious to see what this list is all about. We did get a Superman trailer. We can take a look at that, kind of go through that, just, bit by bit, pause it every few seconds, maybe turn the volume down. I swear I have a habit of getting copyrighted. So we'll see. We'll go through that, keep it light. And then I'm going to share a few Christmas pictures from years past, just some family stuff or whatever. So anyway, to get back to the chat real quick, like 3 Star said, hit the like button. I'm sure y'all have, and we'll roll on, man. And we'll just do what we do on a Friday night. It's been a tough few days, my friends, to say the least. Family stuff, man. It's It's a tough thing when people get older. Let's see. Frostbite says, I like Skeleton Crew. It's nice and light. Um, that was a little bit earlier, but yeah, I do. I like it. I like the show. It's all right, man. Eric Thurman saw Red One. He recommends it. Matthew recommended it. He liked it. It's streaming right now. So you can watch Red One. Let's see. What is Red One streaming on? Eric, I'm guessing you saw it on streaming. It's on Amazon Prime, I guess. You can catch it. Yep, Amazon Prime if you have a subscription. So don't even think you have to rent it. So that's pretty cool. Crunchyroll is also cool if you like anime. I 100% agree with that. I think it's a part of the Hulu package, which I also do subscribe to, and I don't even watch anything on Hulu. And then as far as the comments on streaming, 3-star draw, yeah, some of it is cheap, but you got to have 5 of them, and it's all broken up, and then it adds up. And cable, to an extent, it is easier. It's just streaming is on demand, cable is not, right? I mean, that's what it boils down to. Do you want 100% on demand? Or do you want to maybe wait to find something when it comes on? Or if it's on that on-demand service, obviously on Comcast or whatever carrier that you have. The one thing I will say, though, when it comes to cable and having like streaming, is that I do appreciate the week-to-week shows rather than binging everything. I just think it works better for promotion. I think it works better overall for creating excitement, water cooler talk, right? And a show can have longer legs that way than just being stuck, being binged and getting some press for like a week and then it disappears for 2 years. Bobby Wold, yeah, the only thing on Disney Plus me and my family were ever excited for was Bluey. It's huge. Bluey is humongous. But now I heard Disney bought the rights, so we'll get to see how they'll tank that brand. Yeah. And again, one thing you've probably heard me say is that it used to be that companies would sell the IPs. They would rent them out to Netflix. They would rent them out to Hulu. That was a way for them to make money. It was a symbiotic relationship, and it was constant income. And then every company decided, you know what? We're going to break off and start our own streaming service. And they all got fooled thinking that they were going to hit it big. And they spent way more money to produce stuff and put content and keep that content online. Those servers aren't cheap. That's a part a lot of people just forget about, is that the servers just are not cheap. And so ultimately, it's about, them wanting to keep it all to themselves. And what's happened is they've lost more money than they've been able to make by having a constant revenue stream of Netflix and Hulu and whomever paying them to air the shows that they own. And that's every network, right? Netflix wants something from CBS, from Fox, from NBC, ABC. They're paying all the networks, right? And now all the networks are hoarding their own stuff. And it's turned out to be really a disaster, actually. Let's see here. Joe Fan, and he says, I haven't been able to get on much lately. Work retail stores. We've been pulling 12-hour shifts, no lunch breaks. Dude, I mean, come on. Like, that's look, I know it's part of the game, but they do have those labor laws, right? It's the stuff we don't like to talk about because we have a job and we put in the time and you do your thing, right? But at the same time, there is such a thing as getting, in Tennessee, I think it's a 30-minute break for every 8 hours that you work. I think is mandatory, something like that. So, but Joe Fan, yeah, get you a damn break, man. Eric Thurman, yeah, Superman. We'll see. Not crazy about the costume. Not crazy about the costume. Yeah, restaurants, they are nuts, and Eric knows about that as well. Yeah, obviously. Let's see what else we got. What is this, Bobby Wold? Some kind of interview with McCartney. They were asking how he felt about Ringo not making the top drummers list. Okay, getting back to the list, right? And he said, he's not even the best drummer in the band. That's pretty funny. Probably a big joke. Ringo, from what I've understood from a lot of the drummers I follow, is very underrated. I personally never found him to be the type of drummer that I cared about, personally. He just wasn't my kind of drummer. And I never thought that he was, man, I just never thought he was that great. But when you hear other drummers that I look up to talk about him, they think he's just amazing. So I don't know. It's to each their own, I guess. Let's see. Joe fan, real quick to get to that. So 6 hours, 30 minutes mandatory break. But we do get yelled at if we do get yelled at by customers. Yeah, yeah, yeah. And then Eric says we get two 15-minute breaks, one 30-minute. That's probably what it is on that 8 hour. I think it's similar here, right? And I understand about the three short as well. I think everybody's short, man. I think everybody's short. Give me 2 seconds. I forgot to grab my coffee. It's actually right behind me on the ground. Give me 1 second, y'all. I will be right back. I promise. 10 seconds. So, have y'all heard about the Motu news as Todd C rolls in? Merry Christmas to you, you filthy animal, and a Happy New Year. And we will be doing, Matthew and I will be doing a New Year's Eve stream on Tuesday night. We may start that off a little later to go up to midnight. So we'll see. We might even have a fun little list. Maybe bring up some old performances or something. That's the only thing, man, about YouTube. It's like I wish you could play music. I wish you could show videos, right? Like I wish you could do that. Um, that just to me it just sucks, man. It's like not being able to play music, and I get it. I understand it, but like I really hate the fact that you can't do that because it would add so much to the stream sometimes for a lot of people. I know for me, especially talking about movies, or even talking about maybe soundtracks and stuff, or as having been a musician or played drums for a long time, like being able to talk about some of my favorite songs. And if you can't play that stuff, it's just not even, it's like it's not even worth it. Let's see. I'm going to copy and paste this real quick into my stream deck for the Superman trailer. So we'll go over that here in just a little while. But there is some Motu news, casting news. If you guys have heard about some of this, let's see. Let's go ahead and share this little news here for you guys. All right. Jared Leto nabs the Skeletor role in Masters of the Universe. Have you seen this story? Um, I'm sure a lot of you have. I'm curious about this because there was a time when Jared Leto was a very hot commodity in Hollywood. He was on a roll with Dallas Buyers Club, right? And was looked at as like, this is a guy that has a range. He can really portray a lot of roles. He was really looked at as a great actor, especially in that particular movie. And he's going to be Skeletor. Allison Brie is Evil Lynn, and we can look up Allison Brie's credentials if you guys want to. And yeah, 3 star. I made it. I hope it's not too cold by now. And yeah, I don't know. I don't know how I feel about this either. Am I excited for a Masters of the Universe movie? You bet your ass I am. I'm not a Masters of the Universe collector. I'm not a follow. I haven't bought any of the new toys. I didn't really watch the Kevin Smith cartoons because I knew what they were about. I found out what they were about. I saw the spoilers. Um, but what do you guys think about this? Um, what's this? He made out like a villain. Oh, you talking about your son? Yeah, yeah, yeah. Joe Fan says nope. First I've heard. 3 star read it earlier. Um, Not sure how I feel about this. I did like his 30 Seconds to Mars. Yeah, wild, wild stuff. Wild band. Menjoza says he was pretty good as evil sumbitch in Blade Runner sequel. Yeah, that's true. I mean, I think the guy's got range. It's just Skeletor is one of those characters, man. It's got to be nailed. And let's welcome in War Chest, full of toys. Just got home from the Hot Mess Express. Well, you been out shopping or what? Um, yeah, I'm really curious because I'm curious about the direction of this movie too, right? I'm curious about the direction. We know what we got the one and only time. Now, this has been in the works for decades. There have been scripts, there have been meetings, there have been actors associated with. I mean, they've been trying to get a Motu movie done for years, many, 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 many years. And, you know, I just hope it's not easy. I mean, I don't, I have a feeling because superhero movies, everybody wanted to go dark after Batman, right? They wanted to go dark. And I'm hoping that this is not just super dark, right? Because He-Man was not a dark cartoon. It was uplifting, right? It was goofy. It was cheesy. But so I don't want just a super dark He-Man movie, but I do want one that's a little more serious in tone and it's just not off the rails like super dumb. It says let's see here. List of villains cast for Amazon Studios, Mattel Films live action take on Masters of the Universe now includes Jared Leto, Sam C. Wilson, Hathor Bjornsson, and Kojo Atta. Leto will play Skeletor. Wilson is going to do Trapjaw. Bjornsson will play Goatman, and Atta nabbed the role of Triclops. So that's cool. So there's three villains that I know, right? That I collected. And then it says they'll join Allison Brie as Evil Lynn, which I mean that's great. Let's take a look at Allison Brie's. Let's see here. Let's look at her credentials, shall we? Um, so let's see here. Allison Brie, what has she done? Wikipedia here. Nope, 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 nope. Don't care, don't care, don't care, don't care. Okay, so man, that's a lot of stuff. Let's get us a better. Let's go to IMDb. Let's get us a better roundup of those movies, shall we? Okay, so let's just see all of them. A lot of voice acting. I see BoJack Horseman. So going back to 2015, 2012, Lego Movie, 2014. Um, she was Unkitty. Get Hard. Okay. Let's see. Mad Men, Community, Lego Dimensions video game, another video game. Disaster Artist. Okay. Glow. Okay. Drunk History. That was a pretty funny show. BoJack Horseman. Rick and Morty, Star Wars Vision. So she's done a lot of cartoon voice acting, right? A lot of animated voice acting, and I don't think there's anything wrong, with that necessarily, right? Like I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I think that you kind of need that. I think if you're in makeup, who gives a shit? But if you can act, right? If you have screen presence, and that's going to be crucial, especially on a movie like this. And like Menjoza says, it all depends on the style of the He-Man movie. Um, just don't let Snyder touch Motu. I don't think Snyder's going to be touching much. I think Snyder is going to be in director's jail. Kind of like Jar Jar Abrams, right? Jar Jar Abrams is in director's jail because of what he did with Star Wars. Think about it. After The Rise of Skywalker, he signed a huge contract um, and never produced anything at all. Um, let's see. Huge contract. Back in 2019. Okay, 2019 with Warner. That's what I thought with Warner. So he signed a huge deal with Warner, and he hasn't made. It was make an animated Batman cartoon that ended up on Amazon Prime because Warner's didn't even want it. It was the woke continuation of Batman the Animated Series. So Warner's didn't even want it. So J.J. Abrams has been in purgatory, director's purgatory, after Rise of Skywalker. He got a timeout, and I think Snyder's in the same position. He's got a timeout. Um, AI He-Man is kind of cool. Yeah, a lot of the AI stuff I think is pretty funny. I know Matthew is very anti-AI, and I actually created a few AI songs as intros for our show or my show, and I think some of them are actually pretty cool. You know, he's not a big fan of them. I can understand. It's all good. Bobby Willis says, "What was wrong with the Dolph Lundgren He-Man other than everything?" Yes, exactly. Says everyone. Goat Man, I don't know who Goat Man is either. And as it says right here, and I'm going to share this. I'm going to share this screen again so we can kind of just look at this article. I'm in no hurry to rush through everything. This is a Friday night. I like to take my time. Um, yeah, Goat Man, right? It says right here, Bjornson will play Goat Man. Do any of y'all know who Goat Man is? Like, um, seriously, I don't know. Yeah, BoJack Horseman. That's a fun show. The Mike Tyson cartoon was hilarious as crap too. If you guys remember that, I'm assuming this is going to be live action. Yeah, it's a live action. It says right here, live action take. Get off of there. Live action take right there. Um, let's see. Plot details are being kept under wraps, but the concept centers on the characters of Prince Adam of Eternia, who, thanks to his power sword, turns into the muscular He-Man, is imbued with superhuman strength and abilities. Um, going to defend Eternia, right, from Skeletor. I guess I'm curious. I'm curious because Jared Leto, Skeletor is muscular as well, right? Archer was a great show, Eric. Um, Menjoza, Flash Gordon style campy goodness, Conan Barbarian with freaking laser beams. I don't know, man. Like it's I don't want camp. I don't want super serious, but I don't want campy. I want them to write a good script, something that brings you in, right? That immediately brings you in. World building, right? This is different worlds. Let's go crazy with it. Um, we just don't need just humanoid characters walking around, other than maybe what obviously they were in the cartoon. But like, if you're going to do world building and these planets, let's do something different. That's what I want to see. I want to see something different. Um, let's see here. Travis Knight is the director. Knight will helm the feature from screenplay by Chris Butler, with initial draft penned by David Callahan and Aaron and Adam Nee. The film adaptation of Masters of the Universe, produced by Escape Artists and Mattel Films, is inspired by the popular toy brand. Um, I will tell you, there is a really great YouTube video floating around out there that I watched several years ago, and it's about the guy who wrote a script for a He-Man movie in the 2000s, I believe, and it sounded awesome. It sounded freaking awesome. And it just never could get past it. And then it came to a point where someone tried to steal his script and tried to like act as if it was their own, and they pulled a bunch of stuff from his work. But it never got made. A hard R He-Man with a bunch of titties, dude. There's probably one out there, actually, Eric. Vivid Entertainment, my friend. I think is what it's called. Or Wicked Pictures. It's probably Wicked Pictures. Frostbite says maybe they're just making up characters like they did in the Dolph movie. And, you know, it's possible, right? It's possible. I mean, I don't know who Goat Man is. I haven't followed Masters of the Universe since I was a child. But who knows, right? Maybe they are. Um, let's see. 3-star. I don't think Motu fans want something different. They want an accurate live action version for adults. I think that's just fine. Right? I think that's just fine. And what I mean by different, I want to do something different, as in when you're world building as far as your planets, your creatures, and stuff like that. Like, I don't want it to resemble Earth. I don't want it to resemble anything we've ever seen. I want it to be, I want their imaginations to go wild. That's what I want to see. Right? There's a whole different universe that we've only really seen just bits and bobs of. And so I want them to go wild with it, right? Um, let's see. And Joseph says, you know, first he said a muscle suit for Leto, probably, or CGI. But if too different from IP, just do your own story, you know, fine line. Yes. And you see that a lot of times. That's just like Snyder pitching Rebel Moon initially to Lucasfilm as a Star Wars movie or show. And they said, nah, we're good. And so he made Rebel Moon. And if you watch Rebel Moon, yeah, if that was a Star Wars movie, it would continue the downfall that we've seen out of Lucasfilm. Because those things were just awful. Frostbite masturbators of the universe. It's Friday night, y'all. It's not Tuesday. That's great. You know, PG-13, 3-star. Yep, PG-13. You know, Tila and Shira and Shira and Skimpy Clothing. Hey, I'm all about it. About it. Bring it on, baby. You know. And yeah, I mean, it obviously has to be on Eternia. But if they, you know, if they do go to other worlds, or if there's other, you know, whatever, like, right, like I want to see, you know, just good world building. Even if it's just Eternia, we still need that world to be believable to an extent to us, right? Even though it's not, we need it to be believable. And Bobby Woll says all this talk about Motu made me want to watch the Honda Skeletor Christmas wrap commercial. The hell are you talking about? Is that from Japan? Is that from Japan? I'm guessing. Because they do all kinds of crazy shit in Japan. But nonetheless, I did think this was curious. You know, Jared Leto playing Skeletor is not something that I would have imagined, I guess. It wouldn't have been he wouldn't have been on my list of actors. I can tell you that. He would not have been first, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth, ninth, 10th, or even 20th probably on my list of actors to portray Skeletor. And even though War Chest, you know, had fun with Morbius, it's not a good movie, and I don't think his acting is very good in it. And it worries me a little bit that, you know, this cast, I mean, how this cast comes together is what's going to make or break it, right? And obviously effects and costuming and all that. Costuming is a huge thing, man. Us 80s, you know, whether you're a toy collector, enthusiast, you know, just a kid of that time period, and you love these products, you are very protective of the outfits. You're very protective of the accents. You're very protective of, like, the race of the characters, the gender of the characters. I mean, it just is. That's part of being a fan. That's literally part of being a fan. So, you know, people that want to talk shit about that, they have it twisted. They've got it backwards, because, you know, what anybody that's saying about it when they change shit like that is that you want it to be true to the source material. That's all there's to it. And so if that makes you a horrible person, then I guess it makes you a horrible person. And I agree, Eric, Skeletor needs to be jacked. Yes, he needs to be jacked, like the figure, like the cartoon. What was cool about the cartoon, and you guys I'm sure know this, is that like the rotoscoping part, like they had actual actors, people, that were built, bodybuilders, do the activities, the running, right, the jumping, the grabbing, and all that, right, and then they drew those actors out for the scenes, so they're real people with real motions and all that stuff, doing those activities, and so I always appreciated that. Once I found that out, was like, okay, that's super cool, and I feel like anybody that had that type, and I know the figures all did, even the villains and all that, unless it was a female figure, most of the guys, they all had the same mold, at least the same body shape mold, right? With the stocky legs, super huge thighs, super barrel chest, arms out to here. They all had that. Um, and so for me, like I just it needs to be that way. Now, Menjoza, honestly, like even without my picks, like I don't even know just off the top of my head, right? Just thinking about it off the top of my head. Um, because there's people I can see doing the role as the physical part of it, but someone like The Rock could play a character, but The Rock is not going to play in a movie where he's like the secondary character. That's just not going to happen, right? So you could count him out. But I'm thinking in terms of people who have that physique that maybe could pull it off. Um, Hollywood is all about some steroids, right? They don't give a shit. HGH, whatever it takes these actors to get in shape for a role, they're going to do it illegally or whatever, legally, illegally. But but I don't know. I'd have to think about it. I just know that in my mind, Jared Leto would not have been a name that would have come across my desk in casting Skeletor, if that makes sense. Even without a list, that I come up with, and I definitely can't come up with one on the top of my head. But he just is not a name I would associate with this property, and he's not a name that I would associate with that physique. Neither is Zac Efron. Now, Zac Efron has gotten buff. He's looked buff in other films. Now, I'm not saying he couldn't pull it off, right? Because actors are actors. They do whatever, is supposedly required of them. But but I guess, it's like when you hear a Hall of Famer. Does that make sense? Like sometimes when you see a movie role and there's an actor up for it, or maybe they're considering two or three different people, and then it's like the Hall of Fame. You could rattle off two or three names, and you literally could go uh, Hall of Famer or not Hall of Famer, right? You hear the name, and it's just you could do it that fast, right? And I feel like with actors in certain roles, if they said let's just say you know Henry Cavill was cast as um, Scrooge in A New Christmas Carol. Like, would that make any sense to you? Right? No. I mean, and that's just going way out on a limb, right? But you know what I mean. Like, you've got people, you look at the body type and all that, and you think, oh, okay, that makes sense. So, let's see here. Let's see. I wonder if they'll have that good journey line. Um, are you talking about Don't Stop Believing? What is journey line? Um, yeah, Eric, I don't care if actors use steroids, right? I don't. There's no records to be had. It's not like football or baseball or basketball. Like there's no records to be broken. If an actor needs to do that, I don't give a shit. If it's convincing, right? Do what you need to do. I just don't know if Jared Leto's the kind of guy that can do that. I mean, he's skinnier than I am. He's probably taller than me and thinner than me, right? Um, Doyle from Misfits. Let's look up Doyle from Misfits, folks. Uh, let's see here. Doyle Wolfgang von Frankenstein? Is that who we're talking about? You mean like this guy right here? Just to show you. Uh this guy? It can't be this guy, right? I can't imagine. I mean, maybe it is. I don't know. I don't know who this guy is. He's 60 though. Doyle from Misfits. Let's see. Bobby Old says you don't need an actor for Skeletor, just anyone with a jacked body, CGI skull face, not a good voice actor. I agree, 100%. And I think that's where part of this is going, right? Because obviously they're casting some voice actors, cartoon actors, in these roles, and I think I think that's probably the way they're going to go, especially with CGI, right? Yeah, that dude's 60 years old. Eric, I mean, could he do it? Here, I'll look him up. Let's see. I'll share this tab again just for fun. I mean, who cares, right? Like we got time. Do whatever we want. So let's go to images. Holy shit. Okay. He's 60? Jesus. That's not even fair, bro. Like that's not even fair. This guy's a monster. I mean, look. Yeah, I mean, look at this picture right here. That's damn, dude. Holy crap. That's one jacked up son of a bitch. um, okay, well, you know what? I take my comment back. Right? I take my comment back. That guy's jacked. No, I do agree, however. I do agree with the voice actor and the CGI skull. This guy, even at 60, right, could probably play the part, have a voice actor, go from there. And it's probably, well, I mean, that's probably not what they're going to do. There's no way Jared Leto would be in a movie and not have a speaking role. It's just not going to happen. So I guess we'll find out, right? I guess we'll find out, what we're going to get with that. Like I said, I'd love to see a um, Motu movie, and I'd like to see a good one. So I am hoping for that. I really am. And for those Motu collectors and fans out there, especially people that are huge fans, I hope it's everything that you've ever wanted out of a He-Man movie. Let's just hope that they stay to the source material. They don't inject any political bullshit. She-Ra doesn't take over the show. He-Man doesn't get saved 3 times by, somebody 137 pounds lighter than him. So this Jesse Eisenberg comment, I'm kind of curious about. Now, I'm sure you guys like this dude in several different roles. He is a good actor, very good actor. But he's basically saying that his role as Lex Luthor hurt his career in a real way, like a real way. So he sat down for an interview and reflected on Batman versus Superman: Dawn of Justice, and said, I was in this Batman movie, and the Batman movie was so poorly received, and I was so poorly received. I've never said this before, and it's kind of embarrassing to admit, but I genuinely think it actually hurt my career in a real way because I was poorly received in something so public. He also noted in the industry, if you're in a huge, huge movie and not seen as good, the people who are choosing who to put next in their movie are just not going to select you. He was nominated for his role in The Social Network, which he was really good in that. I think was it Andrew Garfield? I thought was really good in that. But he says he went on to explain that despite success with projects, he has been in poorly received things that just don't see the light of day, and for the most part, no one knows. But this was so public, and I don't read notices or reviews or movie press or anything, so I was unaware of how poorly it was received. Now, I find that a little disingenuous. I find that disingenuous because I firmly believe he has an agent, he has a manager, he has a publicist, he has an assistant. And I know even though everybody are yes men and yes women and whatever, they do whatever you want, whatever. Try to keep you cozy, feed you grapes, fan you with a fucking fan. I don't know. But it would be hard for me to imagine him not having a conversation with anybody in his life. And no one in his life was like, hey, Jess, I don't know if you know this, but people just, they really don't like that movie. And they didn't like you in it. Nobody said that. Even coming from a good way, not a joking way, but just a good way, just saying, hey, man, even if somebody made a mistake, they hadn't seen him in a little while, and they came up and said, hey, Jesse, what's going on, man? Like, sorry to hear about the press for Batman Superman, man. Like, I thought you was pretty good in it, but obviously the press has a different idea, right? You'd think somebody, but he's saying, like, I had no idea. And I just find that fascinating. You could be in an industry like that and have no idea whatsoever. And he said, despite the criticism, Eisenberg reiterated that he loved the role. He said, I love the movie, doing it and everything. So I feel just myself to blame. I'm not like they did me wrong. No, I'm like, oh, I guess I did something wrong there. And so it did feel like I had to climb out again. I don't know what climbing out again means. It was depressing, but I'm depressed all the time in some ways. Just like, oh yeah, of course, I had this great opportunity. Of course it didn't go well. Just pessimism, which I can understand that too. Now, I didn't like his role. I'm sure you didn't like his role, right? Sometimes someone's miscast. We just talked about casting. Um, Sometimes somebody does a bad job. So, sometimes the director does them dirty. And I think in Batman versus Superman, the director was the problem. And so I don't know that it's necessarily his fault. I didn't think it was a good performance. I thought it was a weird performance. And he's an interesting character, and he always tends to play these, quirky. It's almost like Michael Cera, right? He plays these weird, quirky, like super beta male characters. And so it just seemed to me like he wasn't the right fit for the role. I think the direction was not good. I didn't think the script was very good. And so I think it's a combination of both. It says the film faced a mediocre response from the audience, even scoring 4 Razzie Awards, with stars Affleck and Cavill winning for worst on-screen combo, while Eisenberg's Lex Luthor gave him a worst supporting actor Razzie. How much do these actors actually put into stock the Razzies, right? Do they even give a shit about that stuff? Look, if you made a film, and I know that a lot of these actors don't go back and watch their own work, even from the time they started, there's a lot of actors, they don't even watch their own work. They don't even look at it, don't care about it. But, like, I'm sure you have to somewhat care that you made a bad movie and it got nominated for being such a bad movie. Halle Berry is the most famous one of accepting a Razzie and actually going along with the joke. Like she's one of the very few, I think, that's actually done it. I mean, I think I did talk to Adam on the phone, Leonardo DiCaprio. I talked to him about it. He had a lot of great ideas. Uh, I think in the end, he was like, yeah, I don't know, but he was really smart about the material and really smart about the character. In a lot of ways, I think he was the one that mentioned to me this idea about Superman and fighting the Justice League at some point. Yeah, thinking back on it now, I can't really remember what else he's been in since then, right? Like I really can't. Like I can't think of what else, Eisenberg has really done. And I'm sure there are some, and you guys probably could tell me, but I honestly don't know. And I when I saw that movie in theaters, I did. I thought he was not good. It was just not good. Let's see what the chat's saying a little bit right here, right here, right here. Yeah, Eric, it's cold and ugly here too. And I know that Frostbite says, "Thank God I have solar power paying for my cooling." I know you guys are hot. While right now where I'm at, it's freaking cold, a little over 30 degrees Fahrenheit, by the way, not Celsius. For those of you counting at home. And getting back to Joe fan, the way things are going, He Man will be a lady. I think the way things are going, that's changing. I sure hope so. I really sure hope so. Um, Bible World says, I always saw Lex Luthor as a calm, rational thinking person, not someone speaking and laughing like a chipmunk. Yeah, the way he portrayed Lex Luthor in that movie was not good. It was Lex Luthor is not psychotic. He's not a schizo. He's not, he got voices in his head. He's not, you know, uh, Eisenberg played him in a way that none of us. And again, this goes back to casting, right? So I was just talking about casting and being right for the part. This is somebody who got cast for a part, wasn't right for the part. And yeah, Pedro Pascal probably will get the He-Man role when it's all said and done because he's getting everything right now. Uh, let's see. I could see Pedro as Man at Arms. Yeah, I could see Pedro as Man at Arms. Right? Absolutely, I could. Um, and I could also see Pedro playing all the roles because Pedro's just that good, right? He's just that good. And don't you forget it. He's in Last of Us Part 2 or Last of Us TV show Season 2. We'll find out whether or not he meets the other end of a freaking golf club. Um, let's see. Brad Pitt as Man at Arms. Interesting choice. Interesting choice. Don't know if he'd go with that supporting role like that in a movie like that, right? And War Chest says that Batman Superman movie should have never happened. They put the cart before the horse. And on that one, but you knew that the movie would be shit when they cast Jesse Eisenberg. Yeah, exactly. A lot of people were like, "This is not," and making him bald. And um, the best Lex we had on screen obviously was Gene Hackman, right? Like hands down. It's of the few that have been cast, right? John Cena as Man at Arms. I don't know. I don't know. It's interesting. I mean, John Cena's a personality, but I think he's kind of a one trick pony. It's 36 degrees there. Yep, you're just a couple more than we are right now. And it is almost as cold as a witch's tit. And that's a great saying, my friend. Warchest says the fact Danny DeVito isn't playing Man at Arms is a fucking shame. Yeah. Uh, I mean, there's a lot of yeah, fan casting is always fun, right? Because you take into consideration what the person looks like, their personality, other roles you've seen them participate in. And that's why I always think it's weird when sometimes these casting directors pull in just the strangest talent for something that makes no sense, right? And this is one of those. Oh, poor Jesse. Poor Jesse. He has to retire to his Malibu home and ponder over his Batman future. Um, hang on a second, y'all. Here we go. Don't catch your hat on fire there, Mr. Grinch. Oh, hang on, buddy. Hang on. All right. Oh no. Oh, that's terrible, Joe fan. That'd be the worst. So real quick, I had a regular of mine at work, and he's this old fella, man. He's probably about 72, 73. And he was telling me a story about years ago where he had hooked up with this woman at a bar, and she got teetotally drunk, took him home. They did their business, and and then he didn't see her for a long time. And then I guess several months later, somehow he runs into her at the bar again, and she's like, "Oh, there you are. I hadn't seen you. There you are. You got to come home with me again." And he ends up going home with this girl again, and she's like, "Wow, they're doing all kinds of party favors, if you know what I mean. They're cutting it up, cutting a rug, dancing in the hotel, motel room, just whatever." And somehow he come across her ID or something like that, and she had lied about her name. And he saw her name on the ID, and he figured it out, and it was the ex-wife of the man that my regular's wife had cheated on him with, and it was the ex-wife of that guy. So talking about having the same exes or whatever. I always thought that story was crazy. Not only did the woman lie to him, but then when he found out her real name and happened to see her license like sitting on the thing or whatever on the table, he figured it out. And he'd already been with her too, like months earlier. Though, what a way to find out, right? Yeah, oh yeah, 3 star. That's a walk down memory lane, buddy. Good old Silverados. Yeah, Eric, you're probably right. And my regular Al, he he didn't go into that part, but yeah, you're probably right. They probably had a straw cut into thirds at an angle. Oh shit. Anyway, um, so Superman, Superman trailer. Let's take a look. Have you guys seen this? Did you see this? Do you know about this? Have you seen this? Do you know about this? Um, I really don't want to play the sound. If I do play the sound, I'm gonna have to pause it every few minutes, like literally. I that's one thing about YouTube I hate. But let's take a look at the trailer. What do you say? And yeah, real quick before we get started, I did see that Reeves action figure. It looks good. I love the '78 Superman. I love it. Yes, there are parts of it that don't hold up great now, but it's a good movie. It's an inspiring movie, and it's a hopeful movie. And I'm hoping that's what they do with this because we've gotten our dark Superman. I do miss Cavill. I think Cavill was a good Superman. I thought he was right for the part. Unfortunately, now he's getting too old, and his time in Hollywood to be able to really knock this stuff out with good scripts and good movies is over. And that's why they went with this guy, David Cornsweet, I believe is his name. And yeah, my favorite, if you're talking about Cavill, I agree. Eric says, yeah, it caught my interest, not gonna lie. I'm gonna go see it. I will absolutely go see it. But I did like Henry Cavill. He looked the part. He sounded the part. And I think with the right direction and the right movie, a hopeful Superman movie, rather than what we got, uh, I just thought it would have been a home run. And now, since November, I think people are looking for optimism. They're looking for hope. They're looking for yeah, okay. Yeah, Christopher Reeve. Yeah, your favorite Superman, and you're not alone, that's for sure. Probably my favorite too. But I do like what Cavill was able to do. So anyway, but people are looking for a hopeful movie and a hopeful Superman movie. And so let's take a look at the trailer. Booyah! So right away, this is one thing I didn't like about this trailer. Is the beginning of it. Not crazy about the beginning of it and how it begins, because what we start out on is a defeated Superman. We get a beat up Superman, a bruised Superman, a bleeding Superman, one that could hardly breathe. Okay, not crazy about the broccoli haircut. Looks like broccoli. Not crazy about the broccoli haircut. It does look much different when he is Superman and not Clark Kent. His haircut does look better at different angles, by the way, but I've always hated this haircut. Fucking broccoli. Let's continue. Get the Daily Bugle. But see, a bruised and battered Superman, like I just don't. I don't like opening with this, right? I would like to open with something more hopeful. I know that this trailer is it picks up. So we get a little bit of a remix of the John Williams theme with the guitar in there. I think Lois Lane is not very attractive in my personal opinion. I'm not saying she's got to be a 10 out of 10. I didn't think, Margot Kidder was a super attractive woman. But I think maybe that's a look they're trying to cop. So, okay. But I don't think she's, by any means just crushing it. Haircut looks better there. And then we've got to get our from the director of. Now, man, Pa Kent. I don't know. That's a big Pa Kent, unless that's somebody else, right? But I don't think it is. So, and again, he gives the whistle, right? So we know the whistle. We know who the whistle is for, right? And here we come. I mean, cool scene, right? Cool scene. Kind of neat. Obviously that's crypto. And I'm not a big crypto fan, okay? And I agree. Amy Adams is attractive. Yeah, I'm not a big crypto fan, and I'll tell you why in a minute.
Take me home.
Gonna take me home. Obviously, we know he's gonna be going to his palace. All right, so we got a little look at Lex real quick. Let's go back. There he is. At least we get Lex, but we get Luthor Corp and not Lex Corp, and that's something that kind of bothers me a little bit, right? Just a little bit. And I'll get to you guys in the chat here just in a moment. Nice gun, Lex. Don't know what's going on there, but now, from what I understood, there was not supposed to be Middle Eastern politics in this movie. That was something that had been talked about early on, that they were not going to, James Gunn was not going to put in any Israel-Hamas conflict politics in here. So this is somewhat of a fib, if that holds true in these scenes. And then you get the can hitting his head. People are protesting. Stag Industries. Okay. This is Guy Gardner. Nathan Fillion playing Guy Gardner. So our Green Lantern is not who maybe we would want it to be. For some of you, maybe it is. Hawk Girl coming in. Coming in hot. At least it's not Hawk to a girl. Then we get the big kaiju. We get, whatever that was in the background, I guess. Let's check that again right there. Don't know what that is. Obviously, we don't know anything really at this point. I mean, the The music is cool. I do not know. I'm guessing this villain, if I can back it up, that villain right there, can somebody fill me in on who this is? Please do. And when I get to the chat, we'll figure it out. But I do not know who this person is. Maybe it says it, you know. But again, somewhat of a hopeful movie at the very least. Um, you know, something to at least give us more than the Snyderverse of what we got. And then July 11th is when it comes out, and then there is a little bit of a post credit. Is it? No, maybe not. I thought there was a little post credit tidbit at the end, but no tidbit. So let's see what you guys have to say about that. Starting with Mendoza. Cavill needs better representation. I agree. Warchest says if Gunn fucks up Superman, the whole DC movie universe will fail, and this doesn't look epic at all. To me, I'll watch it when it's streaming for free. Too many side characters and cameos for this to be good. That is something people are concerned about. You know, why are we introducing Guy Gardner? Why are we introducing Hawkgirl? There's a couple of them. The black guy that has the beam around him. I don't know who the fuck that is. I don't go super deep on the Batman Rogues Gallery and or Allies. To an extent, some of them I know. I don't know who that is. Maybe it's staring me right in the face, and I do know who it is, and I just don't recognize it. Let's see. Joe Fan says, looks like a Dragon Ball Z scene. Yeah, some of it actually kind of does. Eric Thurman says, Edgar cut. The Edgar cut. The hell's the Edgar cut? And that's probably something so obvious, and I'm stupid too. It looks far too camp for me, says Ward Chest. 3-star says, I'm in no way a huge Superman nut, but this movie looked good. The opening scene is to make us wonder how he got beat up. Of course it is. And solely to bring in his buddy with the whistle. Absolutely. Crypto is a late addition to the script and the movie, and because he is part of the movie, I'm sure they had to somewhat change parts of the movie, right? Maybe things that were already shot they had to redo. Yeah, she's no Terry Hatcher. Grandma Lois, Granola Lois, never mind. Either one, Grandma or Granola Lois. I don't want to take a bite out of that. You can keep that Kit Kat bar. Let's see. And the best part, 3-star, I'm guessing, is when Crypto comes to take him off and drag him off, which was cool, you know, and seeing the snow flying up as he's running to him, you know, like that is cool. Warchest, I knew that you were a long-time reader of Superman. He says, I still read Superman. He's trying to play around with with too many versions to make everyone happy. So many amazing stories they could have started with, and I'm not feeling it at all. That's part of the problem with these movies, though, is that instead of taking what has been done in the comics, which most normies don't even know about, they've decided to peel away and take other stories that haven't been as popular or resonated with the fans, even the people who read the books, right? And that's their number one mistake overall. It just is. Is that Cyclops? No, I don't. Oh, it is Cyclops, the actor. That's portraying Lex. Yes. Let's see. Lex, his power suit. I wish, man. That thing was awesome, and I had to figure with the power suit. Loved it. 3-star says you don't know that's Middle Eastern politics from a little kid holding up a flag. No, but the brown skin and the sand leads me to make assumptions. I know who Green Lantern is, but not all the different ones. Yeah, I don't either. It's Snoke. Oh yeah, that's pretty good. Let's see. Someone said Metamorpho. Metamorpho is that the character who has the shield around him or something like that? Is that who that is? Yeah, Warchest says looks like Metamorpho, but to be honest, he looks like a Game of Thrones White Walker. Okay, the guy with all the stuff on his face. Yeah, the lines and stuff. Okay, Metamorpho. He does look like a White Walker, doesn't he? Uh, I doubt that's the only scene Crypto's in. I bet you Crypto is actually a huge part of this movie, if I had to guess, because James Gunn wrote him in. Like he went all in and wrote him in into the movie because he adopted a dog or two. I can't remember. That's the story while writing the scripts for this Superman movie. And he felt so strongly about the dogs he adopted or the dog he adopted that he felt he needed to write a dog into the script. And of course, you already have one that's in the lore. But he felt that strongly about these new animals that he had adopted. And the family loved the dogs. He loved the dogs, and he wanted to include a dog in the script. So, good reasoning. Good reasoning. Right? Yeah, exactly. No, nothing wrong with that. No, no. I mean, that's exactly right. He got inspired by the love that the family had for their pet, and this was an animal that had been mistreated and whatnot, and they saw the immediate differences when they brought this family into a loving home. So it's pretty cool. That's how he went about wanting to include because he had already been writing the script, and he was not part of it. Now, I don't think they've been shooting anything, but production meetings, all that stuff. So they had to kind of rearrange some things and probably rewrite the way that the movie's going to play out, right? But anyway, so yeah, it looks cool. I'm not a big fan of the costume. We can kind of look it up real quick, just to get an idea of kind of what we. Let's see, James Gunn Superman costume. Just take a look and see on the images kind of what we're looking at here. Let's see, set photos from James Gunn's Superman leak. So let's share that boy with you guys. There we go. All right, here's a set photo leak on Reddit. As you can see, um, I don't know. I'm not sure why we need all the padding and the shoulder kind of padding there in the thighs and the knee. Um, the belt, trunks, everything. I mean, it doesn't look terrible. I just don't. It doesn't look good. I just don't think this is not a good photo. It's really not. This is not a very endearing photograph. Here's another set photo here, and I don't like this costume. I really don't. And here again, showing you off the full cape. Some people argue for the non trunks Superman because it brings more attention to the S on his chest. And some of the designs I've seen of that I do like a little better. It's a little sleeker. And when the boxers or when the briefs look a little 19, 30, 40s ish, I get it as far as when the comic was created and those kinds of things. But some photos I've seen reminds me of like my dad wearing his tidy whities when I was a kid and seeing him get out of bed, scratch his head and scratch his butt. And they just look kind of droopy. I mean, even this photo right here, where his junk is, it's kind of like, you having a good day today, buddy? Like, um, so I don't know, but there's some of the photos of production, and there's the main one right there, you guys. But see how baggy that is right there in the over the hip and kind of going down to the crotch roll region. So yeah, I don't know. That's the last photo on this list. I just seems to me that I'd like a little more sleeker outfit. And considering that this isn't in the past, this is present day, right? So it's present day. So there's where also I think, now he is an alien. So, we'll throw out a million reasons why his clothing can be different and all that kind of stuff. I get it. Um, but but if you go back and watch the Man of Steel trailers, actually, there's about four of them. And if you go back and watch those Man of Steel trailers, especially like 2, 3, and 4, man, those trailers blow this out of the water. They just do. Like they blow this out of the water. Um, let's see here what you guys are talking about here. Let's see. Yeah, 3 star. If there had never been crypto in the lore, it would have been an issue. But no, there is. He is there. And again, I like the reasons why he added him. I really do. The S does look old school. Kind of is a blend. It is a blend of modern and old school. I think that is the purpose for sure. Um, and then uh, and then when Joseph says, "Yeah, the thicker material, but not armor." Yeah, it's just kind of weird. It's just the way that the material is cut, the way those lines are on the way it's designed. I'm not a big fan of. Metamorpho, Guy Gardner, Hawk Girl, Lex, Mister Terrific, Crypto, Kellex, and they showed Stag Industries, so it's a Metamorpho story of some kind. Thank you for at least putting some of that stuff into context. He also says they will CG it, but that costume is trash. They will CG it. But yeah, I'm just not a big fan of it. 3 star Jaw says gotta accentuate his super crank with them draws. Gotta give Lois something to hold on to when they go flying through the air. Um, who's the one spearing Superman? In the trailer, um, spearing him. I didn't see the spearing. Um, It's more like the Kingdom Come logo. Yeah. So yeah, I don't know. I mean, I like Superman. He's not my favorite by any means. I think Superman loses a lot in the fact that he is so invincible, that he is so powerful. I think it's one of those situations where the stakes are not what they could be because you know that he's not going to die. Has he before? Yes, he has, right? We all know that. But like compared to Batman, who's a real dude who has to use gadgets and like think on his feet, and he has some friends. Yes, he has an assistant, right? But like compared to Batman, for me, Superman pales in comparison because he has all these advantages. And Batman has to actually use real world products and or at least at the very basics, real world application of certain products, right? Some of those products obviously have never been invented, but you know what I mean. Um, so yeah, I don't know. I'm not super excited for it, but at the same time, I will see it. I will go check it out. I mean, that's without a doubt, that's going down. So, and let's see, when is that? It said July 11th. So July 11th, coming next summer when the weather is warmer and Daisy Dukes are out and sundresses with the wind blowing it up. See that booty? Uh, so Sonic Trace. We'll go over Sonic real quick, and then we'll get into the top 50 of all time TV shows. That is Sonic the Hedgehog 3. I know Matthew was looking forward to seeing this. It's got an 85% Rotten Tomatoes, 7.7 out of 10 on IMDb. Screen Rant gives it an 8 out of 10. Um, we could go down the list. I'm sure Roger Ebert gives it a decent score if I had to guess. But action adventure comedy film based on the video game series. Of course it is. Here's our cast: Keanu Reeves, Jim Carrey, Christian Ritter, Ben Schwartz, James Marsden, Sophia Pernas, Tika Sumpter, Aaliyah Brown, Idris Elba, to name a few. Pretty easy. Pretty nice little easy cast. Obviously some returning characters. I've heard Jim Carrey really loves this role. Like he really enjoys this role and has had a lot of fun with it. And I'm glad because man, it seemed like he wasn't going to do anything ever again. And so to see him come out and have fun with this and really enjoy this, I'm actually I'm glad for him. He's an interesting character, but boy, he made me laugh in a lot of movies. Me, myself, and Irene being one of them that I always enjoyed. And maybe y'all, I don't know if you remember that movie or not, but boy, I did really want to. I really liked that movie rather. Let's see here real quick. Ward just says I know they'll CG at customers. Yep. Yeah, Joe fan. Sonic 3, definitely for the kids, but from what I understand, this movie has enough jokes for adults as well. And and so you don't have to worry about it really anything bad, but it has jokes for adults and kids alike. And and so it's good, it's good for that. Um I've never seen any of the Sonic movies. I haven't seen one or two. And it's not for like not wanting to. It's more for a lack of like just either being unaware when it came out and then just not in the mindset of like I got to go see Sonic. I enjoyed the Sonic games back in the day, but I wasn't a simp for Sonic. Like it wasn't my favorite game. It wasn't my favorite world. But I did like it all right. I had a Genesis when it came out. Fun game, but I heard the first one was good. And look, also here's the trick: the creators of Sonic. So here's what's super cool about this is that you remember the first trailer came out about Sonic and he looked really weird. He did not look right. This was an example of the creators going back and actually listening to the fans, hearing the fan feedback, going back and actually changing the way that the character looked so that people would be happy, the fans would be happy. That is one of the very few examples we've seen where a creator, director, whomever has actually gone back and changed something because the fans wanted to be closer to the lore or the look of the character. We don't get that very often. They have their vision. This is my vision, and it must stay my vision. It has to stay the way I've wanted it. But that was an example of somebody doing that, and it's so rare. But it showed you the headiness of the creators and the CGI creators to understand that this film is riding on whether or not you believe that that is the version of Sonic that you all know. And if it doesn't look like him, people aren't going to buy it. So it's a great example of that happening. And it shows that, yes, things can change and there doesn't have to be animosity. The creators didn't go on some tangent and some rant and call everybody istophobes and get mad, and, well, blue people have rights too, whatever the fuck. It's like they heard the feedback, made the changes, and guess what? The movie did gangbusters. Second movie did very well. Third movie, obviously, time will tell what it ultimately ends up, looking like when it's all said and done at the end of its run. So, but yeah, I mean, again, it's not something. It came out on the 20th. It's not something that for me, which today, I guess you probably could have seen a midnight showing last night. It came out today, so we'll see. I assume the box office for this is probably going to do pretty well. I don't think it's got fatigue. You know what I mean? Like fatigue as far as um, people saying, I don't, I don't want to see it because it's the third Sonic movie, right? Let's see, numbers box office. Take a look. Come on. If I could actually type three. So Thursday previews, it made 6.5 million. Thursday previews. Um, Not too bad. We'll find out in the next few days what it's going to do. And Mufasa the Lion King, that is being absolutely destroyed, and it will not do well. It's going to be a bomb for Disney. I don't think anybody cares a shit about Mufasa at all. Um, do you? I mean, seriously, right? Do you? Um, Let's see here. Yeah, Cable Guy's great. He is having, Eggman. That's a fun role. Yeah, great voice cast for that movie. Yeah, Joe Fan, the Grinch, fantastic, right? Absolutely fantastic. Liar, Liar, uh, great movie. I mean, so many. Ace Ventura. The Ace Ventura where he's crawling out of the back, was it a rhinoceros, right? Or was it a hippopotamus? Was it a rhino? He's crawling out the ass of it. That scene makes me die laughing every time I see it, still to this day. Still to this day, every time I see that scene, I absolutely lose my mind in Ace Ventura. It is so ridiculous, but so damn funny. It just kills me every time I see it, man. Yeah, when nature calls, it's unbelievable that scene. It's like Scary Movie 2 when Chris Elliott has the hand. He's stirring the mashed potatoes. He's like, "Let me get it with my good hand." You know, it's the same thing. I absolutely lose my mind on that. And Eric, did you see the first Sonic? Did you think was that what that was? Um, and then Three Star Jaw says, "Yeah, I remember that Christmas morning getting that Genesis and seeing that shit for the first time. Yeah, definitely opening up a Genesis, right? I mean, after Nintendo, and of course, Genesis does what Nintendo don't, and it has all the turbo processing. Turbo processing. I don't even know what the shit that meant. It meant nothing, just so you know. Um, and yeah, Mendoza, what? Listening to the fans? Unheard of. I mean, that's something we've been missing, right? Like we've missed that for years, man. Shinobi, man, y'all better stop. Y'all gonna start naming games. We're gonna take a walk down memory lane. And take a walk down memory lane. Shinobi, yes. I will tell you, I remember when the first Metal Gear came out on NES, and you would get a comic book, and on the back of the comic book, they had all of the weapons that you could use, key cards, and they had all this stuff, keys. They had all the weapons that you could use on the back of it. It said Metal Gear, and and it was like, oh my God, this is so awesome, top down, and you have to use key cards and figure out where to go in different levels. And I'll never forget, Three Star had a birthday party at a skate center. He had a birthday party at a skate center, and he got that game. Now, I had not had the game, didn't get the game, but Three Star got the game for his birthday at this birthday party at the skate center, Brentwood Skate Center. And I'll never forget, like, I borrowed it from him, and then took it home, and I beat it, and I brought it back to him. I'll never forget that shit. I did that with Mike Tyson's Punch Out from my buddy Justin, who lived on my street a few houses down. And I borrowed his copy of Mike Tyson's Punch Out. I took it home and I beat it. And then I took it back to him. And he didn't even barely get to play it. Yeah, Three Star, that story still hurts my soul. I sure as hell did. He got that Metal Gear game, and I took that shit home, and I played it, and I beat it, and brought it back. Oh, it's terrible, man. That's so bad. That's so bad. Oh my God. Yeah, the tour group with the Rhino too. Yeah, man, that was fantastic. Um, but anyway, Wishmaster 2, I'll have to check that out. I have to check that out for sure. But I know I've seen them here and there through the years. Uh, but have not. I've never actually gotten like super on the Wishmaster scene. I guess you could say, right? I've seen them TNT, whatever the hell, late night, whatever. So I want to go through this top 50 TV list real quick. And we're not going to spend a million years on it, but I kind of want to see. I hope they start with 50 and not with one. Okay, yes, they do. All right. This is the top 50 TV shows of all time. Sex in the City. Sex in the City is number 50. Now I will tell you, I actually do like that show. I watched that show with my ex, with my son's mother, and we actually named my son after one of the best characters, one of the nicest, genuine characters in the show. And his name is even spelled the same way as we looked it up in the credits. So, Sex and the City, Avatar, The Last Airbender, number 49. South Side, comedy, don't know nothing about it. Vida. Hello, Vida. Both of them. Let's see here. Underground Railroad, I Don't Care, The Crown, The Leftovers, Anthony Bourdain, Parts Unknown, Shame What Happened to Him, Station 11, Beef, don't know anything about that, Insecure, HBO, don't know anything about Insecure. The Deuce, I heard about that, James Franco. Heard that was pretty good. That Maggie Gyllenhaal, yeah. Band of Brothers. Band of Brothers was hot, right? Band of Brothers was hot. Yes, 3-star. That is true. That is who he's named after. We love the name. We love the spelling, and we like the guy. He's a good guy. Crazy Ex-Girlfriend. The Shield. Remember The Shield? Chernobyl. Coming in at 35. Jane the Virgin. Orange is the New Black at 33. So these are all new shows. So far, we have not gotten like classics, right? I have a feeling the top is going to be filled with nothing but like 70s, 80s TV, 90s TV, because these are all new, right? Is there any recency bias here, right? So Veep at 30. 2, Fleabag at 31. I could give a shit less about Phoebe Waller-Bridge. I thought the new Harrison Ford, the new Indiana Jones movie was ruined with her presence. I thought it was just, oh God. Game of Thrones, number 30. So Game of Thrones is number 30 on the top 50 TV shows of all time list. That's quite interesting that's where it ended up. Let's see here. This a little bit here, and let's see here. I'm going to go up just a tad, folks, so I can stand up for a second. Oh, I bought a standing desk, so I'm actually super thrilled about that shit. All right. Whew, God. My hips have been bothering me really bad the last several weeks, so this is actually kind of nice to be able to have a desk I can stand up at. All right, so Game of Thrones, number 30. Broad City, number 29. Never heard about it. Never heard of this movie. Don't know anything about it. How to with John Wilson? I've never heard of that. At number 28, Parks and Recreation, 27. Again, these are all new shows. The top 50 shows of all time, these are all new, basically. Battlestar Galactica, never watched it. I'm sure there are some dedicated fans out there. Review, Comedy Central, 3 years. Never heard of this show either. I May Destroy You. Never heard of that show. Survivor, holy crap. 2000 to present. Man, oh man, oh man. Better Things. Never heard of it. At 22, Deadwood. Deadwood was a good show. That was a good show. Yeah, Survivor beat Game of Thrones, right? Like, and this is off Hollywood Reporter. There's no rhyme or reason. Some of these people are just goofballs. Like you really just don't. you can't trust what they write. Joe Fan, I love Battlestar Galactica, but really only like the original. The new one they changed too much. Yeah, and the original that was wild stuff. I was a bit young, right? New Star Wars, obviously for sure, but we'll see. And Three Star says we already know what number one is going to be. Your best show ever. You're goddamn right. Yeah, we'll see. We shall see. I mean, so far, man, it's been a lot of new stuff. Yeah, Cheers being one that I think will be high up on the list if I had to guess. I'm with you there. I think Cheers is one that would be high up on the list. That makes sense. So we've got Peep Show. Never heard of it. Peep Show at number 20. I mean, who made this list? Friday Night Lights. So for those of you that like the football show, Friday Night Lights is fine. Um, it wasn't something I was actively watching at the time. Halt and Catch Fire. Never heard of it. What's going on, Tony? Good to see you, man. Tony's Figs into his house. Uh, little late night streaming on a Friday night, Tony. Of course, on the West Coast, you just getting into it, right? Just get into it. What is it, about 8 o'clock for you out there? About time for you to wake up, get moving, get them bones moving, Tony. We're just looking at the top 50 TV shows of all time per the Hollywood Reporter, and at number 16, Breaking Bad. Game of Thrones was all way up in the 30s, I think. This makes no sense. Yeah, number 16 says 3-star. Oh, hell no. 3 stars as Friends has to be in the top 10. Seinfeld for War Chest has to be number 1. Eric Thurman says Star Trek and Cheers. Let's see. Let's keep going. Number 15, Atlanta. Another highly acclaimed show about people getting high. Didn't watch it. Did watch it. Heard it was great. And I'm sure people who did will probably say that they really loved it. Enlightened? Is that Laura Dern? Right, what is happening right now? Has this world lost its mind? Like, seriously, what is this shit? 30 for 30. ESPN makes a list with a documentary series of the top 50 best TV shows of all time. You've got to be kidding me. The Americans. Now, The Americans is a good show, right? The Americans is a good show. We have not seen The Wire yet. We have not seen Twilight Zone. The Daily Show. The Daily Show. Okay, well, I gotta know what the criteria are from this point on. Like, I'm gonna have to go back to the top of the article when we're done, and I'm gonna have to look at the criteria, because maybe I misunderstood this. Maybe I completely misread it, and that's why I'm not understanding what's happening. BoJack Horseman, we mentioned that earlier today, with part of the voice cast or the He-Man movie. Yeah, right, Mendoza. 3-star. Yeah, this list is fucked up. Stranger Things. Yeah, possibly. Yeah, but The Daily Show. I don't know. War Chest says I haven't even heard of these shows. Exactly. What basement clown is watching this shit and feeding goldfish? Probably the same guy in a red Wendy's wig made of yarn with lip gloss. You may be right. We'll find out. We'll see. We're going to look up. We're going to see who the author of this article is, for one, and if this was a contribution article. Freaks and Geeks. And I know a lot of people got their start from Freaks and Geeks. Seth Rogen, I believe, being one of those. There were a few others. We scroll and look at the cast list. It's a Judd Apatow, Paul Feig kind of thing. Jason Segel, James Franco, Martin Starr, yeah, Seth Rogen, right? And this was in 1999 to 2000. Only aired for one season, basically, or one and a half, I think it was, something like that. Um, One of the top 50 shows of all time that was only on for like a year and a half, maybe. Girls. Oh, brother. Seriously. Lena Dunham became such a hated person in America, partially because of the show and partially because a lot of crap she was saying in the media. When she became somewhat famous, Adam Driver was in this show as well. Allison Williams, who is she's an A-list talent, if you know what I mean. Better Call Saul above Breaking Bad, y'all. Better Call Saul above Breaking Bad, y'all. Like how are we feeling about that? Like how are we feeling about Better Call Saul being above Breaking Bad? Yeah, what world was this list made from? This is a list from Sliders, right? Yeah, Girls was bad. Um, and War Chess, he hates Lena Dunham. He doesn't even know who she is. You know a show's bad, right? When Better Call Saul was good, but not better than Breaking Bad. I agree. Better Call Saul is really, 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 really good though. It is really good. And the girl who plays Kim Wexler right here on the right, she is fantastic. Very good acting, very good writing. Reservation Dogs about a Native American high schoolers. I mean, I heard about this show, but I don't. Number six. There has to be some weird criteria with this list. I'm gonna have to go back. This has to be like top cable TV shows. I haven't seen any. Have we seen any? Yeah, Survivor. It was network TV. Okay, The Wire. Omar coming, or whatever the hell it is. Farmer in the Dell. Is that why he whistled? 30 Rock. Oh, just seeing this face just makes me want to just. Okay. Succession. There must be. There must be criteria for this. There must be. We're gonna have to look at Sopranos at number 2. Does anybody want to guess? Anybody at all want to guess what number 1 is? Before I get to it, I'll let you guys kind of. All right, I'll let you guys kind of get to it. Mad Men is number 1 of the top 50 TV shows of all time. Wait, no, you gotta stop the madness. We don't need another timpani roll. Come on now, quit that shit back there. Go, go jump in the fire, Jose. Quit playing that timpani, you son of a bitch. All right, so we're gonna go back to the top. I didn't intend on doing all 50, but pretty fast. We could scroll through it in a few minutes. All right. All right. What's our criteria? Please tell us. Hollywood Reporter critics picked top 50 best TV shows of the 21st century. Okay. 21st century. Still, since 2000. Since 2000. So Rome was not on this list. Rome was not on this list. Like what are some other shows? Okay. So so now that we have our criteria, right? Now we know why we got no Seinfeld. However, we did get Freaks and Geeks, and that was in 99 to 2000. And it did not last very far into 2000, right? Yeah, I mean, and Eric, the order was from 50 down to 1. So if you look at this, if this is our criteria, and we just start from the top, Sex and the City started in 98, ended in 2004. So obviously they're playing a little fast and loose with some of their rules here. And but if you want to look at just the top 10, Mad Men number 1, Sopranos number 2, Succession number 3, 30 Rock number 4, The Wire number 5, Reservation Dog. Okay, get the fuck out of here. Now, see, this is where I'm going to get pissed. This is where I'm going to get pissed. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, there we go. Internet's been a little shady lately. Now I'm back, even though I'm hooked up Ethernet. So sorry if I went away for a second. All right, so this is where I get mad. Mad Men is not better than Breaking Bad. Mad Men is not better than Better Call Saul, in my opinion. But I'm going to tell you right now, fucking whatever the hell, look, 30 Rock is not better than either one of those shows. Okay? And yeah, my internet has been really shady lately, like super shady. It's been cutting out today, especially a lot. Yesterday, a little. Reset the modems, all that shit. Best I can do. And it's fiber internet, by the way. I'm Ethernetted in. But yeah, like even Walking Dead's not on here, right? And I agree with you. Should have been maybe in the 30s, but still, 30 Rock is better than Breaking Bad. 30 Rock is better than Better Call Saul. 30 Rock is better than The Wire. Succession is better than Breaking Bad. Game of Thrones, um, The Wire number 5. Reservation Dogs. Who the fuck watched Reservation Dogs? Who watched this show? What were the ratings for Reservation Dogs? What were their criteria for putting it on this list? Because it took place on a reservation? Like, seriously. Yeah, yeah, Eric Thurman. Where's The Office? Who the fuck voted on this thing? This is embarrassing as shit. Better Call Saul is number 7? This show, girls, come on, man. Freaks and Geeks at number 9? BoJack Horseman? The Daily Show? Americans was good, but like, come on, man. This shit, nobody even knows what this is. I've never heard of this show. I mean, come the hell. Oh man. Yeah, now this is embarrassing. Even now that I know the criteria. And there's no Cheers, there's no Family Ties, there's no Night Court, there's no Cosby Show, nothing like that. Now that I know the criteria, it's still shit list. I mean, this is a shit list. What a bunch of lies and deception. Oh my God, this is brutal. Let's see if there's any comments at the bottom. I wish. I wish they had a comment section. I'm sure as hell not gonna sign in for comments. Yeah, no, no. That's embarrassing. These people should be ashamed of themselves. Holy shit. You kidding me? Jeez Louise. It's kind of funny though. It's always fun looking shit up like that, right? Just because, like, enough to get you pissed off. I mean, that got me a little riled up. I ain't gonna lie. Like, a little riled up. Let's not kid ourselves. All right. So here's the deal, man. Before I sign off tonight, I kind of want to know, like, Christmas time's coming up. We got a few days, man. I still got some shopping to do. I still got some some stuff to take care of. Um, and, really for me, um, the older I get, right, the older that we get, if you still have family, right, that you visit, and if you don't, I understand, right, because that's how it is as well sometimes. But the older I've gotten, the more I realize, like, the gifts are definitely secondary. Now, when you're a kid, and even when you're younger, man, you're not making any money, maybe, or whatever. It's like, yeah, the gifts, that anticipation, especially when you're a kid. But the older you get, like, it becomes less and less about that shit, right? It just comes with time. And it's more about the family aspect, right? And then by then you make your own money, right? So if you want to buy yourself a Christmas gift like War Chest, you buy your own shit, right? You buy your own gifts, you buy your own stuff. If you need something, you go out and get it. You're not gonna wait a whole year. You're not gonna wait, and also too, the older you get, you don't want to ask somebody for that. Now my mom, she still asks for the Christmas list. Give me a list, give me what you want. And of course, these days, I don't want her spending a bunch of money. I don't even want her spending the money that she set aside to buy something. Uh, I'd rather her just keep it, to be quite honest. But she'll push you and she'll push you. My son, same way. What do you want? You better give me a list. I don't want to be out Christmas Eve running around. And and so I've found over the years that at least with family that's still here, that's still in town, um, that it's about the family part of it. And it's been that way for a long time at this point, right? I mean, it just has been that way for a long time. Um, and at almost 50, it for me is also mainly about trying to really have a good time with the people that are still here and still around. Um, you know, our family is very joking. We cut up and laugh, and it's really silly. We cut on each other a little bit. We tell old stories. Um, reminisce about stuff, and it's a very jovial atmosphere. It's very fun. We eat breakfast same time at my mom's house every year. Years ago it was at my aunt's house. We did Christmas over there. We did it at my grandparents years ago when we were kids, real little. Then we did it at my aunt's house for several years, and we do Thanksgiving at my mom's. And then that changed to doing Thanksgiving and Christmas at my mom's house. But it's the same time every year for Christmas breakfast. Thanksgiving, basically the same time we eat. It's very traditional. And I appreciate that now, like looking back on all those years, is that it's been the same every year. No travel, don't have to get on a plane, don't have to drive 500 miles or whatever. And that's very nice. And it's easy to take for granted. Even in the afternoon after Christmas morning, I usually hot footed over to my dad's, which is about 30-minute drive, 35-minute drive north, and then go visit with my dad, my stepmom, and my two brothers over there and their kids. So it's very traditional. We've done the same thing all the time for years. And so I appreciate that sameness. Some people that might get old, they want something different. For me, I like that. I like to be able to count on something and know what's happening. Um, it's just nice to have. And I know not everybody's that fortunate. So I hope whatever you are doing, that you have a great Christmas. If you have kids, I hope they get everything they wanted or what you're able to get for them. If you yourself want something from someone, a spouse or vice versa, right? I hope that you get whatever you wanted. Um, this Christmas, we've had some tough ones in the past. With my grandparents, my grandfather passed away. after Christmas, um, in 1918, let's see, 49ers played the Bengals in the 88 season Super Bowl, so it would have been January of 89, late January of 89. I think I drew him a picture of the 49ers and Bengals. And he passed away. And my grandmother on my mom's side says she didn't want to live another Christmas without Pop. And she didn't. She passed away in December of that very same year. So that was an interesting Christmas. This Christmas will be also a little interesting. Um, I say interesting, not to demean, but it's another similar Christmas like that. So something just thinking about it, just people you care about, you love, parents, grandparents, brothers, sisters, cousins, whatever. Uh, Cherish the time that you have with them, right? And joke a little more. Apologize if you need to. Uh, shit don't last forever. Grudges shouldn't be held forever. But but yeah, like it's corny, so I'm not gonna get all sentimental on you guys, but I appreciate all of you hanging out and like coming, showing up, uh, you know, allowing me to talk and shit, and y'all like it, whatever, and I like what you guys do, and I appreciate it. So if you do have families, try to enjoy it if you do get to see them this holiday. And if not, if you don't, I hope you have some friends that you can see in person, hang out with in person, and cut up, have a good time, enjoy life. It's very short and it goes by way too fast. Looking at this picture right here, like, holy shit. It goes by really, really fast. And it's crazy, to think about how fast it does go by. So yeah, man. I do really appreciate all of you and anybody that you know that comes to hang out, listens to me, listens to Three Star Matthew on Tuesdays, man, participates, and I really do. It's much appreciated. It makes it so much more fun to do. I know I don't do a lot of regular content, so live streams are kind of my thing a lot, and it's always much more fun to have you guys in the chat, talking, hanging out, and all that good stuff. Um, I'll share a few more photos with y'all. Here's me with some long ass hair when I was probably 19. With my mom and my sister. There's probably a little bit better shot. Somehow that photo came out weird. Um, Good old long hair. There's me in Three Star Draw, and my best friend Troy growing up. Christmas time, see the tree in the background. Got the old, back then we called that the Donald Trump shirt. That's what we called it. No, I'm shitting y'all. We'd have called that the Ronnie Reagan. Actually, at that time, it might have been George Herbert Walker Bush. Uh, Nice tongue, Three Star. Here's my sister, Three Star Draw in the middle, and myself at my grandparents. A long time ago. Look at them clothes, man. That white Christmas tree. Man, oh man. Um, let's see. Oh, here's my dad with a Terry Bradshaw poster and a football in his robe. By the way, he was not a sports fan at all. This poster and the footballs for my sister. She loves the Terry Bradshaw. Here's me in Three Star Draw with some muddy hands, and my sister riding a go kart in the background. If you can't tell, that's how we grew up, just like that. My mom, 3 Stars mom, and his dad. Halloween. Man, oh man. Extended family. It's my mom's boyfriend Bill. She's been dating since '86. uh, yeah, my aunt. There's 3 Star flexing his muscles. There's 3 Star with an at an Alabama Crimson Tide T-shirt on in front of the Christmas tree. Gotta love that picture, right? Gotta love that picture. And on that picture, I will take a cruise through the chat for a moment. Let's see here. Oh, let's see. More Chess says I won't let my mom buy me shit either. I just have to have her make me coconut cream pie, and the world makes sense again. I love it, love it, love it, love it. Um, Rothbite says both my parents have passed away, so I enjoy Christmas with my wife and my daughters. But I'm glad that you have that opportunity, um, especially right. Yeah, live every moment. It's easy to not, it's easy to forget, right? I mean, we work, we do shit, we sit in traffic, right? Um, but every now and then you get reminders, right? And friends this time of year, very, very crucial. Um, yeah, 3 Star, or War Chest, rather, my bad. Lucky to have my mom for whatever time she has left. After she passes, I'll be a sad trunk in a Santa outfit like Dan Aykroyd in Trading Places, or Bad Santa for that matter. Um, yeah, at 10 Christmases without your mom, that's freaking crazy, dude. Crazy, crazy, crazy. And yeah, frostbite, absolutely. Um, yeah, anybody that needs it, take advantage of it, man. That's what it's all about, right? Um, yeah, I mean, for real. And yeah, that Santa Claus right there. That's that's a great pick, though. It really is, right? My dad without a shirt at Christmas, drinking a Pabst Blue Ribbon with. That's me and my sister and 3 Star right there. Christmas. Um, let's see if I have any more Christmas ones. There's Pop, my grandfather, our grandfather. That's me in a Hulk T-shirt. That's 3 Star. It's just a very, very young lad. And that big Santa right there on the right is awesome. Um, yeah, I think that's most of the ones I've got that I had set aside to share with y'all. I've got several others, but hey, there's a take me a while to dig them all up. Anyway, so look, man, I appreciate you guys hanging out. Didn't have a whole lot to share tonight, but at least wanted to fit one in before we have Christmas. Matthew and I are going to pre-record a show to stream on Tuesday night. If you guys want to tune in on Christmas Eve, I know that's a busy night for everybody's, but we're going to try to put something out for you, and probably do us just as good, right? So give us a chance to hang out and BS. But I'll be back next Friday. It is possible Wednesday night, 3 Star and I maybe doing a live stream. I know he's probably planning on it. If I join him, I might be a little late. It just all depends on what's going on in my world. It's a very long day. And so we'll see. We'll see. Maybe on with him, but I know he's planning on it anyway. I'll try to see what I can do about getting on with him as well. But I do hope y'all have a very, very Merry Christmas. Um, I will talk to y'all before New Year's, and hope you get everything you want. Hope your kids, your family, and everything. So cherish it. Have a great Christmas, y'all. And I will catch up with you guys on the other side, man. Thanks for tuning in tonight. I am Pop Blender. Hit the like button, share the stream, tell a buddy, bring a friend. Be a good friend. Tell somebody something nice. Maybe you'll change their life. Love y'all. Have a good night. Merry Christmas.